Hey, what's up, guys? So the fuel pump finally died in the R. This is a 04 s60r. But anyhow, I already got it ripped apart, but I thought just for reference for somebody else doing it, you have to take the back seats out to access your panels for your fuel tank. This is your pump on this side, and on this side is where your sending unit goes. There's this long lead with wires that plug into the sending unit that come from that hole all the way through to here, but we'll get back to that in a minute. So it took me forever to figure out how to take the back seat off. The back top is the bottom one just pops out, no worries, you know. But so what it is this dual folding seat back here. On each edge has a mounting bolt, and it's up under these, the side pads, which, by the way, when you take these side pads off, so you can see the hook, there's a hook on one side there and a slide up on that one, and then a hook up here on top. So you'll have to, what I did is I just kind of smacked it and popped these two loose and slid this straight up off the bottom one. But anyways, underneath those is this, and this is where I got my seats all covered up, but the side of the seat rail for the rear, see where it connects over here as well and flips forward. You got to take those out, so you have to make sure you take the pads off and access these, or you're not going nowhere. And let's see, there is one more. You can see the holes from it. There's a bracket from the seats that holds that rear piece in. We got everything kind of covered up. There it is. There's a connector. This red, yellow, and ground. These connectors plug into the back seat, and I think it's for the headrest, because it's got this funky, you know, push the button on the dash and the rear headrest pop down so you get better visibility when no one's in the back, which I totally love. I actually love everything about this car, except it's a pain in the ass to work on. So what you're gonna find is when you pop this off, there's these covers, these metal covers held on by 4 bolts. I don't even remember what those are. They're probably like a 12 or something. I think they're 10s. So you'll need a deep 10, because these have studs on them to pop that off. And then you're gonna have to, you know, be careful disconnecting your wires. And when you take off these fuel lines, I'll tell you, actually almost anything on the car, even the electrical connectors, when you take them off, push them forward a little bit. There'll be just a tiny little bit of slack in there. Push them forward and then push down on the clips on either side, and then pull back, and they come off way easier. I mean, don't go just yanking that shit off, because you'll fucking break it and you'll be pissed later on. But anyways, so give you an idea of what you're getting into once you get inside of here. So there's a bolt on either side under these side pads. Remove those and remove the bracket bolts from the center piece that you'll see pretty easy from the trunk as soon as you get the carpet up. And that's just taking the seat out. But once you got the seat out, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory, but you're gonna come up on this shit, these rings. And mine, I'm pretty sure at 195K, I don't think this stuff's ever been touched, because it had so much crap packed in the threads in this that they're very difficult to get off. And I don't recommend, don't go taking a fucking screwdriver and trying to tap it on these, because you might be able to tap it loose, but more than likely you're just gonna bust all these tabs off, and then you're down another part you gotta buy, or source or whatever. But anyway, so I'm kind of living in the middle of nowhere, so I didn't have a tool to fit these rings, so this is crazy. What I did is I took a piece of pipe that, what is that, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches or something. But I took a piece of this metal pipe. It was like a big fat piece of conduit, and I didn't have very good tools, but I just kept chiseling away at it until I made something that'll fit the teeth. Because you don't want to bust those teeth off, because then the next thing to snap when you crank on it again is going to be the ring itself. And there's just no point destroying it and having to buy another one. But anyhow, so yeah, and I welded this piece in here. It was just a small socket extension, and had some miscellaneous scraps. I think it's off of a lawnmower or something. But it works, you know, it's simple, and I actually like it better than some of the tools I've used in the past that were actually made for this purpose. So just sometimes good to think out of the box when you're trying to get things done. So the next thing is, once you get those rings off, make sure you get all that stuff cleaned out good in there. You're gonna have to take these off, and I recommend snapping a picture with your phone at that point, because you'll get them mixed up. I do. But yeah, so this tubing and the wiring that plugs in to the float on this side is actually connected to the fuel pump on this side. So when you go to do this, I'll do another video as I go along with it, but make sure you don't lose these rings, man. If your tank doesn't seal on these cars, it will send a fault. It's like leaving your gas cap off. It'll tell you you get some kind of a massive fuel leak error or something weird pops up. But yeah, keep these, and if they're not in good shape, get another one, because it's a pain in the ass to do this. You don't want to do this more than once. Fuck. So this assembly, it'll just pop up like that, same as the sender on the other side, and there's gonna be another ring in there. Don't freaking pry around in these things, because I'm pretty sure this one's, yeah, mine's got a plastic tank, which is actually badass. Like, if you've ever had a car with a rusty gas tank, it freaking blows. But yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna do the rest of it right now. I'll just rattling. You see my time I spent trying to figure out how to take it apart. I've never had one of these before, so it's like the P2s are badass, man. They're like it's like a robot. Doesn't even seem like a car anymore, just because the engineering is so freaking tight. Like everything's tidy and in place and perfect for what it was made for. And it actually honestly makes them easier to work on, which is good because mine's always broken. But I'll just stop it there, I suppose. Don't forget, before you go yanking that fuel pump out on the other side, to hook something onto this loop. Which is kind of nice that it's tidy like that, the way it is with the loop on there, because what I'm gonna do is use this wire that I had laying around, and I'm gonna actually hook it around and make sure it's, you know, secure enough to hold it, because it's got a drag from this side of the tank, what, a couple of feet over there to that other hole, and I don't know how the contours of the tank go, so I'm gonna just take it easy. If it snags, don't pull it hard, because you'll freaking break it. While talking to people on YouTube like they're my kids. But yeah, that one, 2 fuel lines, 1 plug pops off, and this one just a couple of plug leads from the other side that go into it. When I put mine back together, I'm gonna grease these up. You don't want to really use like a petroleum thing at base something. I just, to keep them from seizing, because these have deep grooves in them. You see the way that they go in here after it's in there for years, it just packs tight, almost like rock tight dirt inside of the threads. And that's why I had to have the tool to break them loose.